honestly expressing yourself. Now, it is very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do. I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
I've told people all over the world that Bruce Lee was one of my idols, mainly because of his mental stability, because of his fighting spirit, because it was more mental than just physical. For him, it was like what he called emotional content.
See, the idea is running water never grows stale. So you gotta just keep on flowing.
My dad was an extremely caring person. He really wanted to help people.
Emotional content. Don't think. Be. It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or miss all that heavenly glory. Do you understand?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's RFG, and I'm going to be doing Bruce Lee's natal chart.
But never to accept the way to lose, to accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
Outside of martial arts, first of all, my father has influenced and inspired a lot of people in all walks of life. And, I think that comes from the way he lived his life and also his philosophies and his ideas. He really believed, I believe the reason we still talk about him today is because of all of his beliefs and the practice of self-actualization. He wanted to be the best him that he could be.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's RFG back at it today, and I am here to go over the history behind Bruce Lee. Basically everything he stood for, what his purpose was on this planet, the message that he was trying to relay to everybody who was following him. And I'm also going to be decoding Bruce Lee's natal chart. Okay, Bruce Lee was a California-born actor, / martial artist, who basically was taught by an individual who was a monk, a monk, an Asian monk. And this Asian monk taught Bruce Lee everything that he knew as far as martial arts and as far as being one with nature, This is, of course, the reason that Bruce Lee was killed, because he was relaying this information to the media, And we all know who the media is controlled by. They do not want this information getting out to the public because, like I said, the United States corporation is nothing but a slave plantation, period. Okay, they don't want you to be one with nature. They don't want you to be grounded. They don't want you to be rooted on earth, rooted in nature. They want you to go against it. Okay, because they don't want your soul to ascend. They don't want your conscious state to ascend. Okay, and Bruce Lee knew all of this information. So without further ado, I'm gonna break down Bruce Lee's natal chart here. Okay, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. Okay, when we look at his information, Bruce Lee was born November 27th, 1940, 7:12 a.m. in San Francisco, California. Okay, so right here we can see, for starters, Bruce Lee, his birthday is November 27th. That is under the sign of Sagittarius, but being born on the 27th of the month, 2-7 is the 9, and we all know the 9 is tied to Mars energy. The 9 is tied to Mars energy, martial arts, okay? Physical warfare, physical conflict. People born on the 9th, 27th, and 18th of the month, they are tied with Mars energy naturally. So they're going to have a natural masculine aura to them, okay? Look at his name. His name is Bruce. Bruce, kind of like a brute. Brute force. Bruce Lee, born on November 27th. 2-7 is the 9, people. So right off top, he was a Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. Okay, born on the 27th of the month, ruled by the Aries energy, ruled by the Mars energy. 2-7 is ruled by the Mars energy. Okay, so that is a pure fire zodiac. Okay, when you look at his birthday, because Sagittarius is a fire sign, and being born on the 27th of the month gives you Aries/Mars like traits. Okay, so when we look at his natal chart, we're going to see that even his ascendant is in Sagittarius, ladies and gentlemen. Even his ascendant is in the sign of Sagittarius. That means when you first meet an individual like Bruce Lee, you're going to feel a very outgoing, very fun-loving, a very liberal-minded kind of individual who accepts people for who they are and not what they look like on their outside appearance. Okay? That's what Sagittarius individuals are like. So if somebody has Sagittarius at their ascendant, that is basically the mask that they're going to put up to the public, because the ascendant is the mask that we put up for the public upon meeting people for the first time. Okay? He also had sun at his ascendant. He had the sun right above his ascendant, which means that he was destined to partake in sun-like activities throughout his life. Okay? The sun, wherever the sun is, that is basically going to personify what kind of avenue we're going to pursue in life. Wherever the sun is located in our chart, that is where the Creator destined us to shine. That is where we're going to shine, people. Okay? So, where Bruce Lee shined was his overall demeanor, his overall character with his first house. Okay? Your first house rules your Aries-like characteristics. How you go about initiating your everyday-like activities. That is what the first house rules. That is what the ascendant rules. And the sun is at the ascendant. Okay? The sun is at the ascendant. Now, when you look at the ascendant and the first house, they're actually different. They actually rule different aspects of our life. The first house rules our birth, the energy around our environment when we were born, our brain, okay? It rules our brain as well and our face. The ascendant rules how we personify ourselves upon first meeting people. Okay, so when we look at Bruce Lee's ascendant, it is directly in Sagittarius, and the sun is hitting his ascendant, which gives him a natural ability, okay, to take on roles of leadership. This shows that Bruce Lee was born to be a natural leader. Sun at his ascendant, okay? Natural Leo characteristics, also with his Sagittarius ascendant, okay? He has sun in Sagittarius in his ascendant, okay? So this basically shows why he took up the life path that he took up, especially of something that acquires athletic ability. and martial arts. Okay? The sun at his ascendant shows he was destined to partake in those activities. Okay? In his 12th house, okay, you also see the sun is split between his ascendant and his 12th house. This gave Bruce Lee a high amount of natural keen intuition. Okay? Because this house right here is the house of Pisces. So whatever planet is going to be occupying this house is going to show us how powerful our Piscean traits are. You see, whatever is lying in this 12th house. So right here we see the sun that's split in between his ascendant and this 12th house. So that's going to intensify, okay, his Sagittarius ascendant and his Piscean traits here, okay, in the 12th house. Also, what I want you to take note of, when you look at Bruce Lee's chart here, you see nothing but trines. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look closely in the center of this chart, there are nothing but trines in this guy's chart. You can see the red trines. Look at the red trines. Look at the green line that hits the blue line and hits the red line right here. That's another grand trine. Then we have another smaller trine right here. Ladies and gentlemen, then there's a blue trine. There's nothing but trines in this man's chart, which shows he was destined to have the level of success and fame that he had in his lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, I've never seen a natal chart that had complete trines ever. And I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been studying natal charts since 2010. Okay? Very, very, very interesting, very mind-blowing information when we look at this man's chart. Also, what we need to take note of is Bruce Lee's 5th house. Let's look at Bruce Lee's 5th house. The 5th house rules our athletic ability. I've been telling people that the 5th house rules our natural athletic ability. So when we look at Bruce Lee's 5th house, we see Jupiter and Saturn, one of the 3 most powerful planetary placements in all of astrology. Okay, the 3 most powerful planetary placements in astrology are, of course, the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. Okay, and right here, Bruce Lee has Jupiter and Saturn both smack dab in his 5th house. Jupiter rules God's fortune, what God is going to grant us in our lifetime, okay? What we're going to get easily in this lifetime, what we're going to be granted in this lifetime. So Bruce Lee was granted athletic ability, supernatural athletic ability granted to him by Jupiter in his 5th house, okay? 5th house rules our Leo characteristics because the 5th house is naturally ruled by Leo. And we have Jupiter in here, which shows that there's going to be constant expansion, okay, with Bruce Lee's Bruce Lee's athleticism. Constant expansion with Bruce Lee's athleticism and his physical abilities. Jupiter is right here in the 5th house, people. Okay? And like I said, you can check my old videos on natal charts on certain athletes that I did natal charts for. There's a lot of gifted athletes out there like Deion Sanders who has the same placement of Jupiter in the 5th house. Usain Bolt, fastest man on the planet, Jupiter in the 5th house. Okay? So like I said, this natal chart science and my work speak for themselves. Okay? Also, Bruce Lee has Saturn in his 5th house. Now, Saturn represents the exact opposite of what Jupiter represents. Saturn is God's restrictor. Saturn is God's restriction. So wherever Saturn is placed in our chart, it's going to be an area of life that God restricts, and God shows us that we're going to have to work. We're going to have to put in work and dedication and focus in this area of life to achieve what we want in this area of life, because each chart, each section of this natal chart, each house represents a different area of life. So if Saturn is in a certain house, it shows that it's occupying and affecting an area of life, and it's restricting an area of life. Okay? So whatever area of life Saturn is in, it shows that we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to go through trials and tribulations. We're going to have to break through restrictions, and we're going to have to stay focused and determined to achieve what we want to achieve in that area of life. So this is a level of restriction that was placed in Bruce Lee's athletic ability here in his 5th house, okay? So right here, Jupiter and Saturn are offsetting one another. They're offsetting one another because they're polar opposites. Jupiter and Saturn are polar opposites, ladies and gentlemen. Jupiter is God's fortune and constant expansion. Saturn is God's restriction and God's discipline, okay? Structure and order. So what did Bruce Lee do with his athletic ability? He had natural God-given athletic ability through Jupiter in his 5th house. So he also had Saturn here to show him discipline, order, structure, okay, and wisdom, and being loyal to those teachings of his elders. That is everything that Saturn rules. That is what Saturn is about. And that shows that Bruce Lee personified that energy, and he basically undertook that doctrine, okay, and implemented that into his martial arts abilities and his martial arts tactics. He had the God-given ability, okay, to stay in tune with those martial arts and with that athleticism. But Saturn here was basically what was going to be the breaking ground of him becoming a master martial artist. Okay, it was Saturn being linked up with Jupiter here in his 5th house. That is what did it, ladies and gentlemen. That is what did it. Okay, that is what made him so athletic and so dedicated to his craft. It was Saturn and Jupiter in his 5th house. Okay, we also have Uranus in his 6th house, which shows that if a person like Bruce Lee tried to get an everyday 9-to-5 job, it might have been very hard for Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee, with Uranus in his 6th house, Uranus is the planet of disruption, constant disruption and unstableness and erratic behavior and certain situations that just come unexpectedly. Okay, so usually people with Uranus in the 6th house, they do best as entrepreneurs. They do best as business owners. They do best as self-employed. Okay, if you try to get a 9-to-5 job with Uranus in your 6th house, I don't think it's going to turn out very well for you. Okay, people like this, see, Uranus is all about the rebellious nature, all about innovative thinking. Okay, that is what Uranus represents. Uranus is all about independence. Okay, Uranus is all about revolutionary actions, and that is in the 6th house. The 6th house rules work and service. What kind of work and service are we going to be to our community? What kind of work and service are we going to be to our people on our homeland? That is shown in the 6th house. And Bruce Lee has Uranus here, which shows he basically was destined to break the foundation of what kind of service he was going to be to his people and to society. Okay? Uranus rules rebellion, revolutionary actions, independence, independent thinking, innovative thinking. Okay? Being eccentric, being different from the crowd, being different from everybody else. That is what the public, okay, on his land, on his homeland, basically recognized him for. Okay? Being different from this beast-like society on the goddamn planet. Uranus is all about going against the grain, going against society, And who made society that we live in right now? The Zionist Jews. Okay? So right here with Uranus in Bruce Lee's 6th house, this showed that he was really never meant to work a 9-to-5 job. He was meant, you see what I'm saying, to be a business owner, to be an entrepreneur, to stand for something that most people on this planet don't stand for, to go against the grain. Uranus is all about going against the grain, and he went against the grain. Okay, when you look at what he was doing to be of service to his people. Okay, Bruce Lee was going against the grain, people, and that's what Uranus in his 6th house shows. Also, we have Pluto and Bruce Lee's 8th house. Ladies and gentlemen, this placement right here gave Bruce Lee full scorpionic powers, full powers of the Phoenix, because that's what Scorpio represents. The 8th house rules our Scorpio. It rules our Scorpio-like characteristics. No matter what sign we see or what planet we see in the 8th house, the 8th house is always going to be naturally ruled by Scorpio. So whatever sign and whatever planet we see in this 8th house, it's going to impact our Scorpio characteristics. So right here, Pluto is home in his 8th house. Okay? So this shows that Bruce Lee had a natural interest in the occult sciences, into the occult practices, into the hidden spiritual information, the hidden spiritual wisdom. Okay? And the 8th house rules our genitals. It rules our root chakra. So this shows that Bruce Lee was able to tap into power that would allow him to achieve the highest power he can with his root chakra. Okay? Bruce Lee, with Pluto in the 8th house, was able to tap into his root chakra energy out of more so than most people on this planet. Okay? That's what you can see right here with Pluto in his 8th house. Pluto is in Leo in his 8th house. That is very, very powerful. The only thing more powerful than that would, of course, be Pluto in its home sign of Scorpio in the 8th house. But regardless, it is very, very powerful, okay? Because when you look at Bruce Lee's 5th house and his 8th house, that shows you that he was easily able to tap into Earth's energy, Earth's electromagnetic system. He was able to link his root chakra with Earth's electromagnetic energy being emitted. Okay, that's what Buddhist monks do. That's what the monks in Asia do, people. And they learned that from the Asiatic Moors. They were able to use their root chakra energy to achieve the abilities that they achieved. And what is a human? A human is a walking, talking plant built up of the same organic material. So we are walking, talking plants. And what grounds the plant into the earth? The root. What grounds the humans into the planet? The root chakra. Okay? That is what Bruce Lee and the rest of the monks that showed Bruce Lee the way, that is the knowledge system that they had knowledge of. Okay? And it all comes from the Asiatic Moors. It all comes from Kemet. And I'm going to be proving that without a doubt today. So just stay tuned, people. So I just explained how when we look at Bruce Lee's chart, we can see his superior athleticism in his 5th house and his 8th house. Okay? So the next planetary placement he has is Neptune in his 10th house. Now, this is amazing right here because Neptune, what does Neptune rule? What does Neptune rule? Neptune rules Pisces-like abilities. And what are Pisces-like abilities, people? The ability to master our intuition. The ability to master our intuition and to tap into interdimensional abilities. Let me repeat. Interdimensional abilities and harness them in this 3rd dimension that we live in. That is what Neptune represents. Neptune is in his 10th house. What does the 10th house represent? Whatever planet you see in this 10th house, from this arrow to this arrow, whatever planet you see in this 10th house is going to affect what you are going to be recognized for in this lifetime. How the public is going to view you in this lifetime. That is what the 10th house represents, people. That is what it represents. It represents our career life. It represents our career life, what we're going to be recognized for, and our connection to our father figure in our life. That is what our midhaven, see this MC, that represents the midhaven, which is the same thing as the 10th house, okay? It rules our public recognition, what we're going to be recognized for in this life, and our career life. And we have Neptune here in his 10th house, which shows that Bruce Lee was destined to be recognized for this spiritual wisdom, this spiritual system, this spiritual knowledge system that he tapped into, okay? Because this whole martial arts thing that he learned, okay, through the science of Asiatic Moors, see, the government wants you to think, oh, it was all physical. It was all physical. It was all about the physicality. No. No, it was all about the spiritual. All about the spiritual. Okay? Because Neptune rules spirituality. It rules the 5th dimension. It rules the spirit, who we are on the inside. Okay? Who we are behind closed doors. That is what Neptune represents. Solitude. Tuning in with nature. Tuning into the higher dimensions, to the higher realms, to the 5th dimension, to the 7th dimension, to the 9th dimension, to the 11th dimension, to the 13th dimension. That is what Neptune represents. And that was in Bruce Lee's 10th house. That was basically personifying what Bruce Lee was going to be recognized for in the public eye. Tuning in and tapping in to those frequencies and that energy. Okay? That is what Neptune in his 10th house means. Okay? So when we look at Bruce Lee's 11th house, the 11th house rules our friend network circle, and basically the revenue we would make after our career, and just the friend circle and our Aquarian. The 11th house is naturally ruled by Aquarius. So these placements basically give Bruce Lee natural Aquarian-like characteristics. He had Moon in the 11th house. He had Mars in the 11th house. He had Venus in the 11th house. So this shows that he had natural Aquarian-like characteristics. He was a natural revolutionary. He was a natural humanitarian. He was a natural guru of his science, of his craft. And he naturally went against what society was trying to push. That is the natural characteristic of Aquarius. And the 11th house rules our Aquarius-like characteristics. He had 3 planets. 3 planets there. He had 3 planets there, people. He had 3 planets there. Which shows he had the natural Aquarian characteristic, okay, to his persona. Okay? Not a joke. Oh, it also shows Mercury. Mercury is barely in his 11th house. So he has Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Moon in his 11th house. So it shows this man was destined, okay, to achieve physical athleticism, okay, while still being in tune with his spiritual nature, with his spiritual wisdom and his spiritual nature. Okay? Not a game. So right here, sun in the 1st house, sun in the ascendant. He's going to be taking up a leadership role. Jupiter and Saturn in the 5th house. Pluto in the 8th house. That gives you natural athletic ability. Natural dominant athletic ability. And then Neptune in the 10th house. He's going to be recognized for this goddamn spiritual wisdom. This spiritual wisdom. Okay? And he has natural Aquarian-like characteristics because he has 4 planets in this 11th house right here. Okay? Okay, I also have 4 planets in this 11th house right here. Many people who are considered renegades or revolutionaries or just people who go against the established order of society, you usually find that they have planetary placements in their 12th house and their 11th house. Okay? That is something I've been noticing because I've been studying this science since 2010 now. So that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up Bruce Lee's natal chart. Very, very amazing information, to say the least. Bruce Lee, okay, his master was named Ip Man, okay, Ip Man. They made a movie named Ip Man, and he was a martial artist, okay, an Asian martial artist, and his practice of martial arts was Wing Chun. Wing Chun, okay. This is where Bruce Lee learned the Wing Chun from Ip Man, and Bruce Lee was able to basically turn the Wing Chun into Bruce Lee's own form of martial arts, which was Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do. Okay? So go ahead and read and study upon this Jeet Kune Do. Right here it says, it's the abbreviation for Jeet Kune Do, is a hybrid philosophy of martial arts heavily influenced by the personal philosophy and experiences of the martial artist Bruce Lee, okay, who founded the system on July 9th, the 9th of the month. The 9th of the month, 9th is tied to the planet Mars, martial arts. I'm trying to wake people up here, okay? In 1969, referred to it as non-classical, a non-classical form of martial arts. Jeet Kune Do is a form of Chinese Kung Fu, yet without form. Unlike more traditional martial arts, Jeet Kune Do is not fixed or patterned and is a philosophy with guiding thoughts. It was named for Wing Chun, for the Wing Chun concept of interception or attacking while one's opponent is about to attack. Ladies and gentlemen, that just said that Jeet Kune Do is nothing but a form of counter striking. It is nothing but counter striking. Okay, what did Bruce Lee say? He said, "Be like the water." He said, "Be like the water." So what does the water do? It personifies its environment. The water molds into the shape of its environment. So when you counterpunch, you basically identify what your opponent is doing and you counter that. You move with that and match that of your opponent. You be like the water. Jeet Kune Do. And right here it says that. It says that this man made his own fucking martial arts off of being like the water, off of counter striking. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what world champion boxers do. This is what the Floyd Mayweathers, the Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Muhammad Alis, they had to have naturally tapped into the science because they're naturally Asiatic Moors. And oh, ladies and gentlemen, when I touch on this information that I got, because I'm just getting started, people. I'm just getting started with this lecture. This lecture is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. But oh, you guys are going to be blessed with some knowledge on this one, because I'm about to shake up a lot of people's foundations with this information. Okay, so like I said, Bruce Lee was taught by Ip Man, and Bruce Lee basically formed Wing Chun into his own form of martial arts, which was all based off of personifying water, the element water. Okay, because when you do that, you are molded into your environment. You are molded into your opponent. You are molded into your opponent, people. You mimic your opponent because you're countering him, you're mirroring him, you're countering him. You're becoming the water. That's what Jeet Kune Do is all about. Here's the emblem. Okay? This is why Bruce Lee was killed, man. This is why Bruce Lee was killed. Okay? This is why Bruce Lee was murdered. Now, okay, This is also some mind-blowing information. Bruce Lee was actually related to the Lee family in China. He was part of the Lee bloodline. This is why Bruce Lee was accepted into Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. The Zionist Jews in Hollywood knew that Bruce Lee, okay, had connections and had lineage to this Lee bloodline. Otherwise, we would have never known who Bruce Lee ever was, people. We would have never known who Bruce Lee ever was. Okay? So when we look at this Lee bloodline, it says in this article here that they have a deep connection to the Zionist Jews that run the world banks. Okay? Right, and you see, Bruce Lee was born in Frisco, born in California. Okay? In the same state as LA and Hollywood, and he was accepted into that lifestyle because the Zionist Jews who control Hollywood, they knew he had blood lineage to this Lee bloodline. Okay, the Lee bloodline is a branch and a lineage of the Illuminati, ladies and gentlemen. It's a branch of the Illuminati, people. It's a branch of the Freemasonic order. Okay. So I'm gonna find where it says the LEE and the LI Lee are pretty much the same thing. And here it is. Here it is. Okay. So right here are the different important Lees related. Question mark. The billionaire and de facto ruler of Hong Kong. His name is Li Ka-shing. Okay. And then it says right here, Li Peng, the ruler of Red China. The ruler of Red China, Li Peng. Then right here, it says Lee Kuan Yew, president and dictator of Singapore. So right here, it shows that that no matter how you spell it, if you spell it LEE or if you spell it LI, both of these families with these last names are related. Okay? Says it in this article. Okay, it says in this article, people. Go look this up. Go look up the Lee family, the Lee bloodline, the LI bloodline. Okay? It shows that the people with the last name of LEE, they're still related to them. This is why Bruce Lee was accepted to do movies. Okay? People, it's time to wake up. You do not get accepted in Hollywood unless you undergo free Masonic rituals, homosexual rituals, ritual sacrifices, or you are part of their bloodline. It's either one of the two, okay? But like I said in my John F. Kennedy video, just because you're born in a bloodline does not mean that you won't have the power to choose what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? So in that aspect, Bruce Lee was just another John F. Kennedy who went against the establishment, who went against the 13 richest families, and who was put to death because of that. Okay? Like I said, just because you're part of that bloodline, that really doesn't mean shit at the end of the day. We all have the power to choose right from wrong. Okay? So we're about to show some of Bruce Lee's, some of his fighting styles here, and show you that he had the ability to tap into things that most people on this planet cannot do. Okay, and this was from some of his movies, but I'm going to be showing you that most of this stuff that you see is real. Right there, Bruce Lee is anywhere from 6 to 8 feet in the air. That's him throwing a kick at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I believe. Yeah, either that or Wilt Chamberlain, one of the two. Now, when we look at these people that are tapping into this energy, okay, I want you to know and be very aware of that what you see is actually real. See, it can be in a Hollywood movie and the punches can be fake, but when these particular individuals, these people who are tied to these martial arts that come from the Asiatic Moors, when they partake in these actions, the actions are all real. Okay, the jumping, the flying kicks, the flying knees, the back flips, the cartwheels, the stance, the blocking of punches, the leaping ability, all of that is very real, people. This science is very, very real. Okay, and this science originates from the melanated Asiatic Moors of China and Japan and Egypt, and I'm about to prove that right now. This individual right here, oh, how fitting of a name. His name is Victor Moore. His name is Victor Moore, and Victor Moore had a speed test with Bruce Lee. Okay, Victor Moore had a speed test with Bruce Lee in 1967, I believe. It was either 67 or 69. I think it was 67. But he was about to explain, okay, what went down. The individual who posted this video is saying that Victor Moore is lying. I don't think Victor Moore is lying because the video doesn't lie. Okay, the person who posted this video, I guess, was just bitter that an unknown black man, okay, who was, like I said, the black people in America are Moors, are Asiatic Moors. So this basically proves that the science, you know what I'm saying, started with the people who are connected to this energy. Okay, so let's hear it from Victor Moore, what took place when he had a competition with Bruce Lee in 1967.
And I just kind of glanced off, looked up into the crowd, and he just flashed at my head 2 feet away. And I just went like that as to swing at it like at a fly. And I said, now what is that? And I'm laughing. And I'm going all the way down to the ground. I'm laughing. Well, they take that one punch, his promoters, that he snuck in at the head when I wasn't looking, and they show that one punch over and over and over, and act like Bruce Lee threw 8, 9 punches at me, at Vic Moore, the world champion, and he couldn't stop none of them. And that's a bold-faced tale. Bruce Lee only threw 3 punches, 2 to the chest, and he snuck that one to the head.
Now, people, when you look at this video, Bruce Lee was in America, and he was meeting up with certain champions of martial arts across the United States. And when he basically went up against Victor Moore, he threw 3 punches at Victor Moore, and Victor blocked 2 of them, and Bruce Lee only landed with 1. Okay? And there were people trying to claim that Bruce Lee hit him all 3 times. That's a lie, people. That's a lie. Victor Moore actually was able to block 2 of his punches out of 3. And there was a video where Victor Moore landed about 2 punches or 2 hits on Bruce Lee. And they actually deleted that video. Okay? it's really sad, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, society has reached that level of ignorance and hate and bigotry. But they actually deleted that video of Victor Moore landing those hits on Bruce Lee. But I'm gonna see if I can find the actual video footage, of Victor Moore landing those hits on Bruce Lee, because I have. Okay, here it goes right here.
Come in on me and score 3 or 4 punches to the chest. And he was come in and I swore I blocked it. He come in again. I blocked the third one. And I stopped. He flashed at my face. And I laughed and I said, what in the world was that? You know, come on. You know? And I said, okay, now you start mine. I came in, I tapped him in the chest. And I again tapped him in the chest. He blocked the third one, you know, but I time the crowd was standing and wooing and all, you know. So he was really embarrassing, you know. And afterwards he told me that I was the fastest American that he ever seen. Any of us know that. And afterwards we, you know, talked and shook hands and did a little sparring by doing. And he said that I sure would go out and
Yeah, he blocked that punch from Bruce Lee. This is Victor Moore and Bruce Lee in a competition in 1967. The picture here is kind of low quality. Pretty low. Okay, this is a lot better, people. This is a lot better quality right here.
and I laughed and I said, what in the world was that?
Yeah, that was blocked. That was actually blocked. He actually blocked Bruce Lee. Yeah, this person here had animosity towards Victor Moore because he didn't show the whole video clip. He didn't show the whole video clip. If you see the original clip, Bruce Lee threw 3 punches or 3 strikes and only landed one. Only landed one on Victor Moore. Okay? So right here, you have a whole documentary right here. Grandmaster Victor Moore, okay, versus Bruce Lee, an hour and 38 minutes long. Okay? So if you think what I'm saying is bullshit, like I said, just watch that documentary. The guy who posted this video, his name is AVG Folder. He's very bitter. You know what I'm saying, that happened to Bruce Lee. But this just goes to show you that this science was originally the teaching of Asiatic Moors. Okay, the original samurais were Asiatic Moors. The original kung fu masters were Asiatic Moors. Okay, and I'm about to prove that. Okay, so right here we have the original people in China. Okay, there's 100 million black people in China. Okay, and the media doesn't want to speak about it. Also, in 2014, the Chinese government banned DNA tests in China because this is what they're trying to hide, people. Chinese DNA links directly to the Asiatic Moors, to the black people in America. The black people in America, the Asiatic Moor. Okay? Why else would they be able to grow hair like this? People, ladies and gentlemen, black people in Africa can't even grow afros. Black people in Africa don't even have type O blood type. The only people, the highest concentration of type O blood type O original people, that is the black people in America. Type O, the Asiatic Moor. So by these Asians being able to grow the afro, that shows that their bloodline goes back to the Asiatic Moors in America, people. Okay? That shows that the Asiatic Moor is the original, the black man in America. The Asiatic Moor, the Atlantean, is the original. And that's why, if you do your research, like I said, I got the proof here. China cracked down on DNA testing 2014. Okay? They banned DNA testing in 2014 because they don't want this knowledge to get out that over 100 million Chinese people are actually black, are actually Asiatic Moors. Okay? So like I said, I can prove all of this. Look at this. Look at this. Bruce Lee knew. Bruce Lee found out this knowledge. He found out this knowledge that his practice, okay, that was taught to him, which was originally Wing Chun, it came from Kemet. That's why you see Bruce Lee here with the onks on his shirt. Also, Bruce Lee was aware of this knowledge on the hieroglyphics. Look at this. What is this, people? What is this, people? What is this? The same body stance of the people who practice Wing Chun and Kung Fu. Oh, that's a person being thrown over somebody's shoulder, somebody's back, just like they do in Asian martial arts. And we see that on the Kemetic hieroglyphics, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So anybody trying to combat this information really can't tell me shit. Yeah, you really can't tell me shit. Okay? Bruce Lee got hip to this knowledge. He understood where Wing Chun really originated from. He knew that the original martial arts in Asia came from the Asiatic Moors. The Asiatic Moors. Okay? This was a Moorish science. And this is why they not only murdered Bruce Lee, but they murdered Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. They murdered Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee. You know why? Because Bruce Lee told his son, Brandon Lee, that death doesn't exist and life doesn't die. It only transforms. He told him this. And the movie that Brandon Lee was featured in was called The Crow. And in The Crow, he came back from the dead. Brandon Lee came back from the dead and basically taught a science to show people that that was possible. That's why they put a real bullet in a clip that was supposed to be filled with fake bullets and fucking murdered Brandon Lee on that set of The Crow. So they not only murdered Bruce Lee, but they murdered his son because he told this knowledge to Brandon Lee. So both of them are dead, people. And that's why. Okay? Bruce Lee knew this information. Okay? He knew what the Ankh represented. He knew that this connection to nature, that this root chakra, that the ability to tap into your chakras, to tap into the electromagnetic energy of the earth, that all comes back from Kemet. That all comes from Kemet. Okay? Right here in the goddamn hieroglyphics, people. Okay? If anybody wants to combat this information, look here. Buddha. Look at the original Buddha. Look at the original Buddha, people. Look at the original Buddha. Uh-oh. Looks like the master teacher, the 13th son, was 120% correct. Looks like the 13th son was 120% correct. Because the 13th son told people, that Buddha was not fat and Buddha was a melanated man. Well, God damn it. This statue basically proves that this was the original statue of Buddha, straight on alkaline vegetables, fruits, and grains, and water, and sunlight. A walking, talking plant who grounded himself in nature and was able to use his body as a vessel to do whatever the hell he wanted. Buddha, the original Buddha, was a skinny, slim, melanated man. And here we go. The original Buddha, the original Asiatic Moor. Like I said, you can look at all this, people. You can look at all of this. Okay? You see, this was the original Buddha, but it was changed over after certain dynasties. After the Moors were overthrown out of Asia. Okay? And see, these people were called the Zhao people. The Asiatic Moors were called the Zhao people. Xia. Xia. They were called the Zhao people. When they were overthrown, this is the Buddha that you got. Okay? Okay? Like I said, I'm fucking up a whole bunch of people's foundations and paradigms with this information. Okay? Right here. Another statue. This is the Buddha in Africa. So this means people in Africa even knew about Buddha, a black Buddha. Look at the nose, look at the eyes, look at the lips, look at the facial structure. Okay? Right here. They knocked off the nose. They couldn't stand the fact that Buddha was actually black, so they knocked off his nose. Just like the Caucasoids did to most of the ancient rulers over there in not only Europe, but Northern Africa. Okay? Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. That's another Buddha statue. This is why the Chinese government banned DNA testing in Asia, in China, because they know that their ancestry goes back to the Asiatic Moors, the black people in America. Okay? This is why if you have black lineage, Asiatic Moor lineage, and you go to Asia, those people worship you. I'm serious. Go look at those videos. They worship the black people that go back there. I'm dead serious. And see, everybody around the world knows who we are except us. Very sad. Very sad, because we went through the bullshit Zionist miseducation system of the United States, you know what I'm saying, public school system, which is nothing but a fucking miseducation system. Okay? The original Buddha, people. Right here. Dreadlocks, the nose, the lips, the skin color, everything. Right there. Okay? So you think that they're going to be worshiping a melanated Asiatic Moor, Asiatic Moor, which was a physical manifestation of God? And you think that they didn't get that their ways of life, you didn't think that they got their ways of martial arts from the same people? Come on now, people. It's time to wake up, man. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, because it all comes from the Asiatic Moor. And that's why the Africans in Africa hate the black people in America for the most part, because the black people in America were ruling in Egypt, were ruling in Africa. Okay? That is why the black people in America set the standards for all of the trends in society on this planet. It all starts with the black people in America, because our ancestors were rulers in Africa. They weren't building no goddamn teepees in no huts, in no fucking mud huts. You see what I'm saying? As hunter-gatherers, they were rulers in Africa. That is why the black people in America are the most hated on the planet, because everywhere our ancestors went, they ruled and they built pyramids and they taught the knowledge of the cosmos. Okay? So there's also a man by the name of Tony Jaa. His name is Tony Jaa. There he is, Tony Jaa. Okay? This man is the closest guy that I've ever seen as far as being in tune with the same chakra power as Bruce Lee. Okay? With the same art form, the same martial art form as Bruce Lee. Okay? But this guy, he uses, his name is Tony Jaa. He has movies called Ong Bak. Go check him out. He practices Muay Thai, Muay Boran, and Krabi, Krabong. Okay? So let's look at this guy Ong Bak. In the Ong Bak movie, his name is Tony Jaa. He's from Thailand. Probably the greatest martial artist on the planet right now. Or at least one of them. These are actual real stunts from Tony Jaa. If you study more of Tony Jaa's work, Tony Jaa has actually mastered the ability to temporarily defy gravity. And like I said, gravity doesn't exist. Only thing that exists is electromagnetism. See, Tony Jaa undergoes the same rituals and the same training as Bruce Lee and Ip Man. He's grounded in nature. He eats a plant-based food, straight alkaline plant-based food. Gets his sunlight. Also, these Buddhist monks, they do not have sex and they do not orgasm. For very, very long periods of time, they go without sex and having orgasms, because that takes away your root chakra strength. Now, what did I say? Humans are walking, talking plants. What grounds the plant? What grounds the plant to the earth? Its roots. So we're walking, talking plants. What grounds us to the earth? Our root chakra. That's why the Buddhist monks do not partake in sexual activity for very long periods of time, because they know how important it is to stay grounded to the earth, to harness that electromagnetic energy from earth. This is why champion boxers are told the same thing, not to have sex, okay, weeks before a major fight. This guy Ong Bak is a complete master at his craft, complete master, and he's on track to basically surpass Bruce Lee in his accomplishments. I just hope that Tony Jaa doesn't sell out to the establishment, because they've already tempted him and they're going to continue to do it. So yeah, when everybody gets a chance, just study his movies Ong Bak, study his teachings of martial arts, his craft, because everything he does in these movies is all him. All of the stunts is all him. Okay? This is also another video that I'm going to show of Tony Jaa. Okay? This individual, Tony Jaa, this is going to be him defying gravity. He's about to kick an object that is a total of 9.5 feet in the air. 9.5 feet in the air. Okay, he's only 5'6", 5'6", 5'7" at the tallest. So that is about 4 feet. Yeah, it's about 9.5 feet up off the ground. And he did a backflip while he did it. Because he's in tune. He's in tune. He's in tune with his body. He's in tune with his electromagnetic frequency that his body emits. You see? He's grounded. He spends hours and hours upon hours grounded in nature. Okay? He's in tune with his body. His root chakra is intact. Okay? So that basically sums up this whole lecture that I had to bring to you guys today, man. I appreciate everyone who supports RFG and Atlantean movement. My next video is going to be breaking down the Hulk, the Hulk character, you know, that superhero character. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who supports my movement. We're all in this together. Please like, you know what I'm saying, subscribe, share this video. Okay, it's the Chosen One, man. I'm out.